Angry Birds, Subway Surfers, Jetpack Joyride, Asphalt. What happened to mobile games and why am I on the floor? The innovation that revolutionized gaming and was even once called the future of gaming over console games. And now it looks like developers look at mobile games as a way to force ads in front of their users and take money out of their pockets with unlimited paywalls and subscriptions. So how did mobile games go from the golden ages to the unlimited paywalls of hell? I'm gonna go in depth on this, but first we'll have to go back to the start. It's 1997, and yes, I know all the unks, y'all cheering, hee hee, this was my time. But the new Nokia 6110 model just came out, and this was the first phone to have games on them that went mainstream. It came pre-installed with a game called Snake, and the objective was simple. You were a snake and you had to eat dots, and over time from you eating these dots you will get longer and longer. Pause. But with that happening, you had to avoid crashing into any walls or crashing into yourself, which would make the game ultimately restart. This game at the time was a great way to get like a short burst of fun. And when this game hit the market, it instantly skyrocketed, getting 400 million ships of Snake out to this device. Since Snake was the first experience of users playing games on their phones, it ignited companies to start focusing on making video games on phones. Now, fast forwarding to 2007, Nokia tried to drop a fully focused gaming phone and that shit flopped. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad I was not around during that time. Well, yes, I was alive, but I had no conscience for real, so I didn't even know that was a thing. And at this point, mobile gaming is growing, but it's still niched. Apple just came out with a smartphone and they were teasing a game-changing software called the App Store. This opened up a whole new world for gaming to explode with the original iPhone and the iPhone 3G in 2008, which introduced features like a large touchscreen, a powerful processor, and enough memory to handle real-time games. But Apple didn't allow native apps on their platform until July 2008, when Apple finally launched the App Store, giving developers a direct way to distribute their apps to iPhone users. They also released the iPhone SDK, making it easier for anyone to build and publish apps. So to make it simple, it was basically Christmas for developers. And there was a game called Trism, I hope I'm saying that right, where the focus of the game was like a tilt-based puzzle game, kind of like an earlier version of Tetris. And this game skyrocketed, making the developer $250,000 in profit in only 2 months. And there was another game called Tap Tap Revenge that would come in, and they made 1 million downloads in only 20 days. With these two mobile wins at the time, everyone and their moms was trying to become a mobile developer. It was like the new trend, like how streaming is now. It made other companies like Google want to make their own app stores, which is where Google Play came in. But I don't think it was called Google Play at the time. But even still, in 2010, the App Store was still #1. And this is where everything changed, because the App Store would go from premium to freemium. In 2008 and 2009, mobile games were paid up front, where games would be $1 or $10. And this was good if you weren't broke, because all you had to do was you paid and you got a full game. Sadly, I couldn't get any of these games as a 10-year-old with no bank account. I was cooked, I'm not gonna lie, I just had to stay back on the bleachers. But things changed in October 2009 when in-app purchases became introduced, and this was a feature where developers can sell in-app products and sell them as extra content, like new levels or new features, maybe new sounds. And this was all within the game. And this will soon open a door for a dominant business model, which is called freemium. And at first, in-app purchases were normal. As I said before, they were used for songs, extra levels, extra features. But a few developers seen the potential in this, and a great example is Tap Tap Revenge. They sequeled their game in 2009, but this time the game was free and players could buy more songs within the game to keep it going. It made money without charging up front and still got millions of downloads and millions of sales. By 2010, more companies were adopting this approach. Offer the game, then make money through ads or optional purchases. The freemium model was starting to get heat and it was starting to catch on. Everybody was fiending for it. But this is where things started to go downhill before we even knew it. Because one of the biggest apps that came out, Angry Bird, in 2009 launched on iOS as a premium for $0.99, and it quickly became a global hit. But when Rovio bought Angry Birds to Android in 2010, they made a bold move, and that was to make their game free. And that also quickly skyrocketed, but within the game, they fully advertised everything. But keep that in your head. Advertised everything. But at the time, players could also opt in to remove the ads. They would just have to pay a little fee. So this was kind of a good trade-off. You get the game for free and you don't pay and you have to deal with ads, or you get the game for free and you pay and you don't have to deal with ads. This was the perfect method for them to start racking in income and revenue at the time. But slowly, Angry Birds started to get greedy and they started to abuse this advertising method within their app. This is when they would drop Angry Birds 2, and this literally killed their company more, since they were already losing money compared to previous years. But they were making tons of money, just not enough like they were last year, but it was still a lot. They turned their whole game into a you play and we're just gonna try to continuously take from your wallet with the system called gems, and you need these gems to buy chests or other features in the game. And every time you play a level, there's these bars called fire bars, and you need that every time you play a level, but it slowly goes down. Basically, it's telling you how many levels you can play until you would have to run out and pay for more gems. And they would use this for everything in their game. Like if you needed something, you had to use gems. If you wanted to get a chest, you use gems. If you wanted an item or a feature, you got to use gems. And over time, with these gems in the game, you had to pay for them. So you had to pay $1, but you know, they have bundle packages for these. And everything in the game was literally pay to win. Even some of the fans on Reddit were starting to notice that, and they're like, yo bro, I can't even play this game no more for real. And this will lead to the slow downfall of Angry Birds, but that is a whole nother video. I'm not going to even tap into that, because other companies will realize this strategy at the time and they will use it to their advantage to blow up, like Candy Crush. But it seems like this became the new meta with mobile games, and it started to make mobile games feel more and more soulless. Unlike in 2008 and like mid 2010s, even though these games were popping at that time, yes, Angry Bird and Candy Crush, but there was a different perspective on the models of the game and how the developers were making the game. They did not look at the reward as, oh, I'm gonna get money. They looked at it as, okay, I want my users to play this game, have a great experience, and come back again to play it, instead of just hovering over our pockets. Yes, there was in-game purchases, but it didn't feel forced. Like bro, when I used to play Jetpack Joyride and I was going so try hard and I was locked in, the shit going mad fast, I'm locked in, and I would die and I gotta pay to then keep my point of where I was at to keep going. Nigga, I would pay. But why would I pay? Because it wasn't forced. It's like, yo bro, I'm just trying to keep my high score up, and I would do that so my high score would get hella high, and then when I died, okay cool, I screenshot it, I show my friends, and I tell them did that in one take. I'm straight capping, but this was just like the fun of mobile games at the time. And this is why this time was called the golden age of mobile games, because you can play a mobile game and not spend anything and have a great experience, especially when there were multiplayer mobile games like Fun Run, which came in with the feature of making it a race, and it had like funny silly characters, and it's kind of like you're playing Mario Kart but in 2D. You could play with your friends. There was a game chat where you can talk shit. Like there was so many features that like the developers thought about to really connect with their users. You can even check when you add someone, you can check if they were online, so you can buddy up, send them an invite, and y'all can continue playing all over the world. Like, this was the peak of mobile gaming. All this interaction within the game was the main reward for the developers. They were not looking for, oh, what's the next money grab? No, bro. They wanted you to actually have a good time and a good experience while playing their game, because they knew that is what keeps people coming back. And I could say the last of this era was kind of in 2017 and 2020, where PUBG, Fortnite, Apex try to make mobile games fun again with bringing their console game back to mobile. And at that time, phones could kind of handle it, but not every phone, because you had to have a 6S and up. Now, when we look at today's age of mobile games, most of the time you don't even know if the game that you're playing is the actual game, because the ad for the game is some high quality, futuristic, crazy shit. You looking at it like, oh my god, I've never seen this before. You play the game, it's some over the head RPG, some bum ass quality game. Like, you don't even know if what you're seeing is what you're gonna be playing anymore. And that's just one side of it. There's another side of games that's like, it's literally just it's brain rot bullshit. Like, there's a kissing simulator game. There's a game where like there's someone with yeeks just like, there's a game with someone with yeeks just running. Then there's other games where it's like you had to shoot barrels and you get points. It's like there's just no soul in the games that are being put out now. And yes, you could say as gamers it's kind of our fault, because we now expect mobile games just to be trash. So there's really no reaction or complaints when these come out and they're trash. Like, we just look at it like, yo, yeah, bro, I already knew that was gonna happen. It's a mobile game. Instead of looking at it and be like, yo, you should fix this, you should fix this, like how we do with console games, and why there's just a different crowd. But it seems like now there's just no soul with any of these games. Everyone's just trying to get a quick cash grab. Everyone's just trying to see, oh, how much could I make off this game, without actually diving in and actually trying to make something that is staying in history. Like the games I named before, Subway Surfers, Jetpack Joyride, Asphalt, bro, legendary games. They even had Minion Rush. That's like a kind of sequel to Subway Surfers. It's like, bro, you couldn't say that games at that time was just not peak, bro. Every mobile game was a hitter and the app store was going crazy. But I don't see that time coming back. In the AI world we live in now, I think we're cooked. But if you are one of them niggas playing that AI shit, them kissing simulators, I ain't gonna lie, hey, yo, just pack your bags, you're cooked. It's over.